Madam Morvai.
Thank you very much. I'm always deeply disturbed when we are speaking about the European Union as a uniform whole and speaking, for example, about the impact of Brexit on the European Union 27. Obviously, there is a major difference between new member states, in particular East and Central European countries, former communist or former socialist countries, and the Western countries. And this has obvious effects on the whole issue of Brexit. Lots of East and Central European people were forced by economic circumstances to take advantage of the free movement of people and move to work in the United Kingdom. How do you see the effect of Brexit on these people and on new member states? In other words, sending member states from the point of view of internal migration within the European Union, which is a fundamentally unjust union, no union at all, because there are so major differences between poor countries and rich countries. The recent statistics indicated that there is a tenfold difference between minimum wages between, say, Bulgaria and Germany and other countries. So taking this into account, what specific impact will Brexit have on East and Central European countries and those workers who currently work in the UK? Thank you.
Before they start, I wanted to just remind ourselves of Madam Morvai's question, which is about free movement of workers, citizens' rights, for example. Free movement of labour is not a competence of the Internal Market Committee, which is why it's not been one of the subjects that we've discussed today. However, the mutual recognition of professional qualifications is a competency of this committee, and when I have met EU citizens in my own constituency, it's one of the issues they've raised. A lovely young Irish health professional was saying to me, you know, she's doing her next set of training in my local hospital. Will it continue to have mutual recognition post-Brexit? Now, I know that the issue of citizens' rights is the #1 issue for opening of negotiations post-Article 50. Both the EU and the UK ministers both want to resolve those. And that issue of mutual recognition of professional qualifications, if we continue to put it on the agenda, as the Professor has suggested here, for EU citizens in the UK as well as vice versa, then I think it is an important thing to be discussed, because I think if you start off with mutual recognition of individuals' qualifications, you potentially unlock many other approaches going forward. And the other thing I wanted to clarify, because it's come up from many of our law professors today, is my understanding of the British government position is not that we are opposed to having some sort of legal resolution mechanism, okay? It's the way in which the ECJ itself works is the issue. And I think I would urge, again, creative solutions to some of these, looking at how international agreements are governed as well in other jurisdictions is a helpful way forward. Madam Morvai.
Thank you very much. It appears that I was mistaken so far, because I always thought that the internal market was characterized by a variety of freedoms of movement, including freedom of movement of goods, of services, of capital, and of freedom of movement of people and workers. It seems that I was mistaken. I apologize. But nevertheless, as a Hungarian MEP, I have to know who is going to negotiate on behalf of those hundreds of thousands of Hungarians and millions of East and Central European workers who currently work in the UK, and they are citizens of the European Union. So I do hope that somebody will represent their interests and also the interests of East and Central European students. So I would very much appreciate the answer to who is in charge.
Okay.
Thank you.
The internal market does have 4 freedoms, including the freedom of movement of labour or workers or people, however you define. It's just that that is not a competency of this committee. This committee has competencies of freedom of movement of goods and services and consumer affairs and other issues as well. But in terms of issues relating to workers, and individual citizens' rights, they divide up between other committees of this Parliament, including the Employment Committee and including the Civil Liberties Committee and others as well. So I think that's it's not that they are not being met by other committees and discussed in other committees. I'm just incredibly sensitive about us touching into areas of competencies. But having said that, as I said, if we want to maintain as frictionless trade as possible in services, then that mutual recognition of professional qualifications, which does come into this committee, is part of that.